Hello, hello. Welcome back to Healthy with McKelty. I touched on a little bit about epigenetics and how our attitude actually influences the output of our genes. So I really want to just kind of give my idea of where we came from. I've looked very deeply and I've felt deeply into the Darwin's theory that we have evolved from monkeys. I 100% believe, and there's been evidence that our DNA is much older than Earth. And my idea, my imagination is we were actually seeded here from other star systems because we're masters at ascending planets. I believe that this is not our first rodeo, and that everyone who is here is a master at ascension. And we just are getting back to remembering who we are and helping Mother Earth raise to her beauty. The universal eye has already seen the beauty, wonder, and certainty of the future of humanity, and we are entering a new solar age, a world where human beings are governed by higher principles such as love, forgiveness, and freedom. The world is not just a dream. It's our next stage of our natural evolution, depending on each of us unlocking our higher purpose hidden in our DNA. Inside each of us lies vast potential and beauty, limited only by the way we see ourselves in the world around us. We alone are the architect of our evolution. Every single human being has something beautiful hidden inside of them. It's up to us to bring that beauty to the forefront and unveil our eternal spark of genius that sets us apart from everyone else. Breakthroughs in biology point towards an amazing truth. Our DNA that has made us who we are is not in control of our destiny. It is our general attitude to life that tells our DNA what kind of person we want to become. Negative thoughts and emotion causes our DNA to contract. Positive thoughts and emotions cause it to expand and relax. Every moment this process is going on. So, to my theory is what I explained in the last video is being in the driver's seat. So having that knowing we have influence over our genetics, over our reality, puts you in control. I was raised to look outside of myself, to an outside God for all the answers. And what I've come to realize is all the answers are lying within us. It's just up to us to unlock those patterns and frequency. And so a look inside of our cells. There's 3 basic elements of a cell: an outer membrane, an inner mantle, and a nucleus. So the nucleus contains our cellular DNA and all its instructions. We have about 60 trillion of these cells in our body with different roles and responsibilities. Most importantly, every single cell is doing 2 essential things: listening and responding. Each cell is listening to our environment through its countless molecular antennae embedded in the cellular membrane. The cellular skin interprets the environmental signals and relays the corresponding instructions to the DNA within the nucleus of the cell. Our DNA then responds by activating the necessary machinery within the cell. This process goes on in all 60 trillion cells all the time, day and night, as long as we're alive. DNA is a natural conductor of electricity and is extremely sensitive to electromagnetic waves. A slight shift in our mood will create enough of an environmental signal to trigger a response from our DNA. Our moods, thoughts, beliefs, and general attitude literally mold our bodies. Because of the heightened sensitivity of our DNA, everything in our life, from the food we eat, from the people we live with, it's all co-creating our body via our attitude. Our attitude determines the nature of the electromagnetic signals that reach our DNA. For example, if you're having a bad day and are in a negative frame of mind, this attitude will generate a low-frequency impulse throughout your body. Your DNA will respond to this by shutting down certain hormonal pathways in your brain. You will feel sad, depressed, and frustrated. On the other hand, if you're having a bad day and are able to break out of your negative mindset and laugh at yourself, a high-frequency electrical signal will reach your DNA and you will feel lighter and more joyful. Your DNA will respond by activating certain hormonal signals that will lead to your day feeling much brighter. So we all know that feeling. Something bad is occurring, and it's easy to just feel like life is happening to you and you had nothing to do with that bad thing. But just knowing that it is our mission here, everyone here, is to ascend Mother Earth. And so laughing at ourselves creates that impulse, and therefore we end up feeling much better, and then our day gets better. True intelligence is activated through the patience and softness of the heart, and only later confirmed by the mind. So it starts right here. Your mind will catch up. And we need to be a lover of mystery with a beginner's mind, rather than arriving as an expert and determined to solve a riddle. Each path to truth is different, but they all lead to the final goal of absorption. A journey of letting go. So the time we are currently living through is referred to as the Great Change. It's a union with our own destiny. Fears are tightly woven into our DNA that takes real courage to confront them directly. Like I said, we're all masters. We're all experienced at confronting our fears and showing them love. And so fear is the raw material of the higher states, and it must be passed through. Much of the language and understanding of the gene keys, which I'm going to get into every single code, it's rooted in our unconscious fears. The transformation from fear to love happens simply because we are ready for it. So think of it, our DNA is a wormhole. It contains a code. When activated, opens up the core of the holographic universe. The DNA molecule is a transducer of light. The more open the wormhole is, the more light pours through it. Eventually, so much light will radiate through us that the wormhole itself collapses. The resulting supernova reveals our true universal nature as one with all creation. A lot of us are feeling that separation from creation, and that's deeply because our mission here is to ascend Mother Earth. There is work to be done. And so what is our higher purpose? Our highest purpose is to be radiant for no reason other than to be alive. We are a living genius. Every human being is born a genius. Our higher purpose in life is to share our particular genius with the world. Genius describes us as living at our zenith. It is living life without holding anything back, owning, and therefore transcending fears. To be a genius is to have courage to live with an open heart as deep romance. A great life does not necessarily mean a famous life. Genius can thrive in the most mundane of environments. Our DNA is an actual code and can be unlocked with the right keys. The process of unlocking our higher purpose is one of turning the authority of your mind over to your heart. So a lot of what I was raised on is to start everything here and not really listen to what's the heart saying. And so flipping that, start here, the mind will catch up. And so I think what's interesting is there are 3 paths to truth: meditation, concentration, and contemplation. Meditation is rooted in the holistic right hemisphere of the brain, and it's the great passive art in which all forms, thoughts, and feelings are simply witnessed as exactly as they are. Over time, this continued witnessing gives way to the natural arising of great inner clarity, which culminates in an enlightened view of the nature of reality. Meditation is absolutely a beautiful way of coming into enlightenment, witnessing things as exactly as they are, not holding any emotion or judgment towards that, just witnessing. And so that's in our right brain. So the other side of the brain, the left brain, concentration is the path of effort. You strive with your heart, mind, and soul to reunite your inner being with your true higher nature. So all types of yoga are based on the path of concentration. It's through a gradual process of continual refinement. This path arrives at an enlightened view of the nature of reality. Think about when you're in yoga, you are very concentrated. You are trying to hold your balance, to hold that pose, to really breathe and release any tension that you're holding in the body. And after yoga, you feel pretty enlightened. But the path in the middle, it's between our right brain and our left brain. It's rooted in the corpus callosum, and it unites both hemispheres. And that's contemplation. And that's utilizing aspects of both meditation and concentration. It involves your whole being on it, but without any effort or tension. In a sense, you play with it with your mind, your feelings, and your intuition. This is how the gene keys are best approached, in a spirit of deep relaxation. So when I continue making videos on each genetic code, contemplation is the state of truth. When listening to these videos, be deeply relaxed. Don't take the words verbatim. Just let them resonate throughout your being. Play with them with your mind, your intuition, and see what happens. Because we are entering the age of synthesis. A whole new way of seeing the world is changing, where we no longer operate primarily from mental awareness. What was once based on the left brain, observing objectively, making logical assumptions based on evidence, will soon become true synthesis. And true synthesis comes about when the left and right hemispheres of our human brain are in balance. It's not about thinking anymore, it's about knowing. This kind of intuitive knowing becomes stronger and more consistent as our life becomes more harmonious. What's occurring is that we are tapping into a fundamental holographic pattern found throughout the universe. The 64 gene keys are talking directly to our DNA. This is a genetic download specifically designed to penetrate the building blocks of our everyday reality, our DNA. This process is about us giving ourselves freedom, and this freedom begins in our imagination. We have to open ourselves up to the highest possibilities of our own nature. As we continue, it will likely put us in touch with our very deep fears. We know they are inherited ancestral fears carried in the DNA of the bloodlines of all human beings. We understand that they had to be there for our survival as a species. We have direct access to the laboratory of our DNA just because we're alive. Once our DNA has received instructions, it will run the new program and build us a new body, a new life, and a new reality. So, I wanted to, first of all, go over our higher purpose, and that's simply just to be happy that we're alive. It's just as simple as that. Sending that impulse throughout our body really does make a difference. And in future, I'm going to go over our shadows, our gifts, and our divine consciousness. But for now, I think that's enough to sit on, think about. I don't know if anyone else has heard that we have been planted here to help Mother Earth ascend, but it resonates right here for me. And so my mission is to continue on a path of enlightenment and truth and spreading all positivity throughout my day-to-day and throughout these videos. So I appreciate the questions. If you have any, please comment, reach out. I am very open to communicating and conversating about these topics. Where we came from, what we're here to do, those matter greatly to me. And when it speaks about the food we eat, that gets me into eating meat. I was raised on eating meat, and that's all I knew for a long time. And the moment I stopped, the moment I started getting clarity about who I am and my real purpose here. If you wouldn't eat your dog, why would you eat another animal? That's kind of how I feel. So I hope this information helps. There's a lot more to it, and so I'm excited to continue diving in with y'all. Thanks for watching.